निरञ्जनं नित्यम् अनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पाधृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः. Namaste and welcome to the 12th talk in the series Guided Meditation for Beginners, wherein we are repeatedly going through the process of meditation and then discussing one of the steps in more detail. So as usual, let us begin our session with the meditation. Let us meditate. Please sit upright, keeping your back, neck and head in a relaxed, upright position. Visualize your whole body to be strong and healthy. Direct your attention to various limbs of the body, and as you do so, visualize that each part of your body is full of vitality, health, purity. Direct your attention to your toes, feet, ankle, legs, knee, thighs, back, stomach, chest, shoulders, elbow, arms, hands, to your neck, face, head, the whole body. This body is the temple of the divine. At the core of our being, it's filled with infinite consciousness. Now focus your attention to your breath. Visualize that as you breathe in, you are breathing in pure light that fills every cell of your body, every corner of your mind with its divine effulgence, full of purity and bliss. Breathe in a rhythmic and slow way. Inhale and exhale deeply. Breathe in this way for 3 times. Now let us pray for the welfare of all beings. May all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all seek the divine within themselves. Send out your prayers for the welfare of all to your right. Visualize your thoughts radiating out from you, and whomsoever it touches, that person being is spiritually benefited. Send your prayers to your left, in front of you, behind you, above, below, and in all directions. With you as the center, visualize this race of prayers for the good and welfare of all beings going throughout the whole universe. Now withdraw your mind from the outside world and focus it into the center of your heart. Therein visualize a beautiful lotus, fully bloomed, full of freshness and fragrance. In the center of that lotus, visualize a flame, steady as a lamp kept in a windless place, spreading its radiance in all directions, dispelling all darkness from within your body and mind. You may, if you wish, replace that flame with any divine form of your choice. You may visualize the divine form seated within you, full of grace, love and compassion, the source of all excellences, extremely eager to bestow all those divine qualities on us. Visualize that the light radiating out from him or her is the light of knowledge that dispels the darkness of spiritual ignorance. It's a light of absolute purity that fills you through and through with holiness. It's a light of bliss that fills you with joy. It's a light of supreme peace that fills you with serenity and tranquility. It's a light of beauty and strength that makes you strong physically, mentally, emotionally, morally, and spiritually. Feel the love and radiance of the divine within you, surcharging you, filling you with strength and vitality, purity and goodness, peace, and all divine excellences that you can wish for. That divine within us is our own higher self, and we are the light from the divine source that activates this body-mind complex. Focus your whole mind in a prayerful way to the divine, praying for spiritual knowledge, praying for devotion, praying for illumination, praying for freedom, praying for peace, for ourselves and all. If you are initiated, you have a mantra. If not, you may repeat the universal sound Om, or the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya Namaha. Once more, focus on your breath and make sure it is deep and rhythmic. And synchronize yourself to that rhythm, to the process of repetition of the mantra. Keep a watchful eye on the repetition. If the mind wanders away anywhere, carefully and gently bring it back to the process of repetition of the mantra and lock it to within yourself. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So in this way, slowly extend the duration of your meditation, at least trying to reach half an hour daily. More than just the duration of meditation, the quality of meditation is more important. By quality we mean how concentrated your mind is. Is it restless, or you have been able to lock your whole process of the mental process into the repetition of the mantra and the visualization of the divine form? Yes, there will be distractions. In the beginning, the distractions will be more, but as you practice, and practice makes perfect, you will find that your quality of meditation or concentration will improve. On some days, it will be even better than other days. You will find that. For that reason, you should not give up the meditation on a day when the mind is not so cooperative. Actually, on that day, you should try to do a little bit more. Because the mind has not been trained for this process of meditation from childhood. For so many years and decades, it has been having a free run, so to say, trying to find enjoyment and knowledge and everything outside. Now we are trying to educate it that whatever it is looking for, it's within. But even though the mind might understand intellectually, the conditioning of the mind will be such that it has a tendency to run outside. So we have to gently coax it back. When it runs off, don't forcefully bring it and say, come, you should be meditating in there. Reason with it just like a little child is there. Okay, we are not going to meditate for the whole day, for half an hour. And it's going to be good for us physically, mentally, emotionally, all that. Let's try it. We'll do it for 1 year. If it's good, we'll continue. If not, then we'll give it up. But let's give it a shot. In that way, you talk to yourself and convince yourself and try to give it a taste. And when through some practice for a couple of months, weeks, depending on how seriously we do it, the mind itself will begin to feel that was nice. I'm feeling a little bit more anchored, more balanced, have a greater poise in whatever I'm doing. So this is good. Maybe it's coming out of meditation. Along with that, if we carry on with our other spiritual disciplines, then you'll find that the mind will become your best friend. And a calm mind that is anchored within, that is steady, that is not easily ruffled by things happening outside, that has got its own sense of value and self-respect and esteem based on the divine nature of what we are, that is a wonderful mind. A mind that is not anchored within ourselves doesn't even know that there is something so beautiful within us, which thinks that I'm only a body, I'm some individuality, I'm some person, where did I come from, where am I going, what's the purpose of life? All those questions are all hazy. It is like a ship without an anchor that's touching the base of the ocean. So it's just drifting here and there at the mercy of the winds, so to say, external circumstances. So somehow we should keep on lowering the anchor, and you should have the rope long enough so that it touches this bottom of the floor of the ocean and gets hooked to it. Otherwise, if it's just dragging along, also that's not very good. So once that anchor gets hooked to something, then you'll find that the waves will come and go, the wind will blow, but you are steady in your own place. And that sense of stability and balance is something so nice. Otherwise, we are helpless, so to say, in this world. We chanted that prayer, little prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya. It's a very beautiful Vedic prayer. The meaning is very simple. Asat means that which is temporary. Sat means that which is permanent. So the prayer is to the divine saying, look, I have become identified with this temporary changeful world. My body is changing, my mind is changing, my sense of I is changing, the things that I'm attached around, that is also changing. I have very little control on those type of things. And this is my plight because I have surrendered my freedom to these things. And as they change, my happiness and all those things also change. When things are good around me, I feel happy. When things go down, chips are down, I feel bad. Basically, I'm a slave to this external world. But within me, there is something that's unchanging, which is permanent, which is good. So the prayer is, oh Lord, can you please unhook my mind to all these attachments to the things, external things, and anchor it to you, which is the permanent essence or substance inside me. So we're trying to disconnect ourselves, so to say, from this, mentally disconnect ourselves from things that are around us and connect it to the eternal source. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamasa means darkness. Jyoti means light. There might be a light, but if I am too far away from the light, I am not getting that sufficient light to use it for seeing things around me. It's only when I approach that light, closer and closer, that I feel its effulgence and make use of it. So, this light is our own higher self, that intelligence that we feel, that from which that knowledge comes. That is not coming from the book or from the teacher. Those are external means, the school, the textbook, the teachers who stimulate the process by which the coverings of the mind are removed and the inner light shines. So what is my present situation? What is my plight? Everything is so confusing. I don't understand anything. I think I understand few things, but if you dig a little bit further, I don't know answers to things. If somebody asks me, who am I? Who are you? You will tell your name and a little bit about yourself. But he says, so who are you really? Don't tell me about your body or your age or your gender or your nationality. These are things about your body and mind. Who are you really? Then you will say, I don't know who am I. And think about the situation we are going through, this whole journey of life, knowing so many things around the world, and that's available through your internet and Google and everything, and don't know who we are. That's not a very smart way to go. So the teachers say that, look, compared to the knowledge of the external world, our self-knowledge is something far much more profound. Actually, everything that we know happens because of that consciousness of the self. Without that self, nothing is known. This body will be a dead use. This body, when the self withdraws its powers out of it. Just like we go to sleep, it withdraws its power, and we don't even know who we are, where we are, totally in ignorance. So we go through this cycle involuntarily of little bit of sense knowledge, and then so many hours of total blackness, blackout we have when you go to sleep. We do not know who we are. Yet the sages, men of realization, said that no, there's no dark night there. It's like the sun. It is self-effulgent. You don't require something else to show it. It's not like the moon that reflects the sun, the light of the sun to reveal itself. It is self-effulgent, and it's the source of all knowledge. So that is my true nature. How beautiful, how profound, how empowering. The more I think about it, so good I feel about it. And so that is the prayer. Please lift me out of this darkness of ignorance and bestow unto me that self-knowledge. That is the prayer we are directing to the divine that's inside us. And it should come not as a casual little request. As you build a tempo and seriously think about our miserable plight that we are in, and then we become a little desperate to get out of it. And then the prayer becomes a little intense and sincere. So we have to understand what is our situation. Only then we'll try to wake up from this and try to make a change. Otherwise, we're happy in this world and we want happiness here itself. Then tamasoma jyotirgamaya, second. Mrityurma amritam gamaya. Mrityu means death. Death is not something to be afraid of. Wherever there is a combination, some energy is holding some particles and body parts together, and then due to old age or disease or something, at some point the body will lose its vitality and it will not be able to retain its form. That destruction part we call death. Wherever is construction, the destruction part will come. The duration might be for 5 minutes, or it might be for 15 billion years of a galaxy, but both of them, anything that's created must go back to its causes. So we look at ourselves. What is this that I consider myself? This body which I say it's I am. It's just a little baby that was there that grew up into this adult, and now it's at a certain stage of life, and after some time it will begin to wear out and we will not be able to replenish it and keep it in the same way, and all the signs of old age and everything will come. We might hide it and polish it and all those things, but no, dye the hair, put the cosmetics, still there are things, and at some point it will disintegrate. That is the plight of everyone. This world is a huge graveyard where billions have come, billions have died, and we are in that process also. So if we identify ourselves with the body dies, we think we die. That is a product of ignorance. So body is changing, the mind is changing, our thoughts are changing, everything here is changing. This world is full of constant change. Yet behind this, deep inside, there is something which is immortal. That's why sages in the Upanishads say, Amritasya Putra, children of immortality. They are trying to tell us, give us our own true identity. Not children of Mr. So-and-so. Children of that immortal bliss. That is our true identity. Otherwise, we are masquerading there in a wrong, without understanding ourselves. So, O Amritasya Putra. In the Upanishads, this Atman, the knowledge of the Atman is addressed as the bridge to immortality. Amritasya Setu. Setu means bridge. Amritasya means of immortality. The bridge to immortality. But you have to get on the bridge then and cross it to the other side to reach. On this side, everything is mortal. So it's a very simple, very universal, very profound prayer. But the prayer will come only when we understand our situation, which is not the best. Here there is, everything is changing, ephemeral, transitory. There is ignorance. There is death is talking around everywhere. At any moment it can touch you on the shoulder and say, let's go. You don't have time to say goodbye. Also, that is the effect of life. We might try to bury our head like an ostrich in the sand and say everything is good, but sooner or later it will get in whichever form, whether it's coronavirus or heart attack, or you go to bed and you don't get up. It will happen. It has happened to our grandfather like that. It will happen to us sooner or later. So let's not just waste our time. Use this life to reach something where even death cannot touch us and conquer us. That would be nice. So this prayer is beautiful, and the solution is within us. It's not somebody else will give it us. That's the beautiful thing about Vedanta. We ourselves are that beautiful being that we are seeking for, but we do not know that, and that's called ignorance. It's like somebody walking around looking for something, and if you meet him and say, yes, whom do you looking? I'm looking for myself. You are yourself. How do you try to know yourself? No, I'm looking for myself. See, that is the situation of most people. I'm looking for happiness. I am bliss. I am looking for eternal life. I am the nature of the Atman is immortality. So that is the paradox, so to say. So the scriptures guide us and say, have that re-educated identity of ourselves, not that CV and biodata that we show in our when we are applying for a job or something. That is something, a name has been given when we are born. And when we die, you don't say the person in the coffin is Mr. So-and-so. It's just a body. Whoever is there is gone type of thing. So in this journey of life, as we go through different professions and different duties and responsibilities, whether we are monks or householders or whatever we are, doctors, teachers, nurses, whatever professions, it does not matter. Within all of us is that same infinite power. Behind every wave is that same ocean. The choice is, do I want to carry on like this little wave, being tossed around left and right and knocked around by all little waves around us, dragged here and there, or I would like to be infinite like that ocean. And you think about the grandeur of the ocean. Many people think there's no ocean, there are floating waves somewhere. There's no absolute, no God, no nothing there. I'm just an independent thing. How crazy is that? But the depth of ignorance is so profound that they don't even feel there's something behind me or within me like that. I'm just eat, drink, make merry, and that type of existence is there. Profound ignorance, darkness, it's like that. So, the more we contemplate on the ocean nature, the more the wave tries to connect itself to the ocean nature, the more it tries to understand that I as a wave, I as an individual exist because the ocean exists. And the difference between the ocean and the wave is that little name and form that is there, the shape. But the water is same. All the water actually has come out of the ocean. All the energy and the power that's manifesting is also coming from the ocean. Actually, his whole identity and being depends on the ocean. Without the ocean, he does not exist. Likewise, that same type of relationship has to be developed now between the person that I feel and the divine that is within me. Thinking that every knowledge, every piece of knowledge or awareness or consciousness that I feel in this body really comes from that deep layer of my being. I am conscious because of that consciousness that is in me. And I am manifesting a very little part of it. And Einstein or some great scientist or great philosopher manifested a little bit more. But no one can manifest the infinite, just like no wave can become like the ocean. The only way to become the ocean is to merge yourself into the ocean and become one with it. And that would be so profound and so great and so good type of thing. So the more it contemplates on the nature of the Atman, the more it will begin to get attracted to it. See, that's the thing. So, Shravan, you listen unto it. Manan, you think about it. Meditation means you contemplate on those divine qualities. If it is so beautiful, then I would like to, it's my nature. Anything that's beautiful, after some time, if you think you would like to have it. A beautiful car, a beautiful house, or this or that, after some time you said, I would like to have it, and the next thing you get into action and trying to acquire it. So when we think about this beautiful nature of the Atman and its supreme peace that cannot get disturbed by anything, any external change happening, no matter how profound, even death cannot rattle it off in any way. Now that would be so self-empowering, isn't it? So, the more we contemplate on the nature of the Atman, it's absolute freedom. It's not a slave to anything. It's absolute power. It's omniscience. It's all-knowing. Not an iota of ignorance in there. Imagine that type of state of mind, the Buddha mind, the Christ mind, the Ramakrishna mind. Absolute bliss. When you look at that bliss and that inner joy is oozing out of it type of thing. So that is my true nature. Okay, and the more we think about it in the depths of our meditation, we infuse some life into that idea. It becomes a living idea. In last Sunday's class I was trying to talk about this. And when we infuse some energy and vitality and life into that idea, then that idea wakes up and grabs us by the neck and says, okay, I'm not letting you go. In the beginning, we try to hold it in somehow. At some point, it will catch us and say, attend to me. Do you know that you are because I am type thing? And that nice connection, suddenly the orphan finds the father. Suddenly the drifting wave finds the ocean. Suddenly the little spark of knowledge finds the infinite sun is rising in there. The little sense enjoyment suddenly finds that ocean of bliss in there, and the fear of death disappears because you have realized ourselves to be that immortal Atman. That would be a wonderful state to be. Try to even visualize a state like that and say, if I were enlightened and liberated here and now, what would it feel like to be? Then we try to see when somebody who was like that, like Sri Ramakrishna or Buddha, Christ, and say there was such a wonderful transformation in them. There was no fear. There was absolute oneness with everything. Perfect unconditional love with everything. Now our little loves of people and people, you're a wave and the surrounding waves are your family type of thing. And you feel they're mine, but really they're not mine. They're you, but not wave against wave, but as the waves from the same ocean. So when I think the wave identifies itself to the ocean, then it finds the whole ocean, all the waves are part of it. Now that is a much profound experience than having one or two waves around you and say, this is my family members. So really, this Vedanta approach, the path of meditation, does not do any violence to things that we have. You'll still have all those things around, but your relationship is not a physical relationship anymore or intellectual, it's a spiritual relationship. And that is how so much empowering. Outside there might be all the differences. Somebody is black, somebody is white, and all these things are there. Different waves are there. But all of them have the same content. And I am part of them and they are part of me. That type of oneness that is experienced in the realization is an expression, comes out as that profound compassion and love that swells in the heart of all these wonderfully realized souls. And then like a Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna, Christ and Buddha, and they're ready to forgive people. They're in ignorance and they will do things, but they do not know, and they pray and they sacrifice and work hard to show them the light. That is our divine birthright. We can shilly-shally around here and carry on playing around, or you can say, let's get into the task, and if I have to do it in this lifetime or 50 lifetimes or 100 lifetimes, then why should I get whacked around and knocked around in this world and suffer so much? Let me get to the job. And so some seriousness comes. Otherwise, it's a little bit 5-minute, 10-minute meditation if you get some time, and other times you're busy with all these toys of the world, so to say. And at the end of the day, when you look back, what did I achieve? I was just busy. Busy for what? Nothing more or less. What did I do? I did so many things for so many people. What did I do for myself? No, I didn't have time for myself. That is, that type of story will not be very, very palatable when we are in old age and say how life has gone and everything is going to drift out. So one must wake up and must have alertness. They alone become free who are awake to the idea of freedom. That freedom is within us, trying to express itself in so many ways. And the difference between man and man is in the degree of that expression. Somewhere we find more, somewhere we find less. It's the same power. Just like same 240 volt is going around through the electrical circuit, but there is some smaller bulb of 40 watts or 60 watts, there might be 1,000 watt bulb. It's not that one has more power or less. One is able to express it more and the other is less, depending on the wattage, so to say. So as the mind becomes pure through meditation and contemplation, the inner light begins to shine more and more. It's not that we create the light, it's just that the covering the dust that is there on the light bulb that has accumulated over a long time, we are giving a little bit of white. With every repetition of the mantra, with every session of meditation, a little bit more cleansing takes place and the light shines and suddenly you feel good, you feel self-luminous, you find that inner joy and balance and all those things. So meditation is very, very empowering. And if we really do it in the right way and understand the glory in the nature of the Atman or the self that we are, you'll find that a lot of our problems will disappear. It's because we don't understand that wonderful thing that's inside us that we are trying to seek those things outside us. And we think that getting this thing or that thing, we will fill that void that is in me and make me complete. Whether it's getting a house or getting some position or some material thing or some name or fame, or people must like me to validate that I am good. No, your goodness is within ourselves. So you'll find that all the grip of the world and dependence and everything will begin to drop off. Nothing matters outside. Whether the world appreciates or not, nothing matters, because within me, I am something so profound, so beautiful that the world cannot even imagine or get and ever give this. And that's my divine birthright. How silly is that I give these wonderful things and go running around outside things. That process of re-education must go with that meditation. So utilize this common sense and intelligence that is given to us to process how we are doing things, and you'll find a lot of things are not done in the right way because from our education this Atman self nature was not taught to. So we were very seriously thinking that happiness and life and everything is out there and we struggled. Here we bring the spiritual knowledge and says it's the other way around. Whatever we are seeking for is within. So we have to now integrate the spiritual knowledge of the self into our everyday life. And you'll find that there will be a flip over. In the flip over, your attention and everything, your self-value of who you are, what you are, doesn't depend on what others say. That itself is so empowering. You're no longer a slave to somebody who says something nice, you become happy, or somebody criticizes, you become miserable. That is slavery. Here you know your self-value, whether the world acknowledges it or not. See, this is what is self-empowerment. And you do all this type of things, halfway for mental health or issues and everything automatically disappear. When we bring in the light of knowledge, the darkness of ignorance automatically disappears. Do not harp about darkness. Don't harp about our shortcomings and misery in things. If you say it's dark, that's not going to drive the darkness away. The process is to bring it the light. Make that light brighter. As you make it brighter and brighter and brighter, darkness will automatically recede away. And this is that light of knowledge that's within us. So think about it, we meditate on it, we try to apply it in our everyday life so that in that hour of meditation, we intensify it. And then a part of that residual meditation, so to say, lingers throughout the day in the midst of our various activities. That is the test of how good our meditation is. And then if you do it repeatedly, you'll find that you'll approach or keep a little bit of balance and meditative awareness throughout the day. We will discuss this in more detail in tomorrow's class, because now the Sunday's class, the mind meditation techniques and all this, and this guided meditation is beginning to merge into one point, and they will overlap and reinforce each other. So we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, meditate with great intensity and seriousness. The Holy Mother says, one repetition of the mantra with concentration and devotion is better than 1,000 repetitions mechanically. So when you meditate, repeat the mantra, the whole mind should be focused onto that. See the mantra rise, see it goes there with great clarity, and you'll find this time will begin to sort of slow down, and the mantra or the object of meditation will occupy your whole mind. That is what is called concentration. And as you go there, the whole world will drift out of your view, and you are immersed in that, you are in that zone, so to say, as I said. And the deeper we go, the more the coverings are removed, the more that light will feel. We cannot explain those things. Those are things to be experienced. So, the gist is, whatever you are seeking for, the most beautiful person is inside you, your own higher self, full of bliss, full of grace, full of love, full of knowledge, ever eager to bestow all those type of things. We've been looking outside not paying any attention, even acknowledging that higher self inside us. Now we are going to turn around and say, reach out and make that connection. Having made that connection, we get empowered, and then we can again play the game of this world if you wish, but then the manifestation of that power is at another higher level. And all these great beings, the Christ, the Buddha, Vivekananda, were ones who were anchored in that knowledge and that awareness, and they could draw as much as they wanted, and they shone like the sun, not like a little lamp. That is potentially possible for all of us. Until that happens, we can't get beyond this. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.